Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry. And today I'm going to explain to you one major benefit of a rear hub electric bike motor. Stick around. All right, so today I'm going to tell you one huge benefit of a rear hub electric bike motor. But before I do, hit subscribe below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out. And of course, giveaways for bikes, e-bikes, and accessories, and new product releases. So hit subscribe, stay in touch with us. All right, so there's lots of different e-bikes on the market right now, and you've got different motor types as well. You've got front hub motors, you've got mid-drive mount motors, and you've got rear hub motors. Now, in addition to rear hub motors tending to be more inexpensive than a mid-drive motor, there's also one additional major benefit, and that is the long-term ownership and the need to replace is going to be much less expensive. Let me explain. Now, on a rear drive motor, the motor is actually contained in the hub here. And should you ever need to replace that, let's say the motor goes out, something breaks, we at 630 and most companies, they're going to stock this complete wheel as one with the motor in it. They're not just going to send you the motor right here and you have to relace it into the spokes. So what that means is if you ever have your motor go out, it is a very simple process. You just have to remove the rear wheel, slip in the new one with the motor, and boom, you're off and running. Now, what's so great about this? You really won't need to take it to a bike shop and have them replace it. If you have a mid-drive mount motor, somebody's going to have to get in, install that motor, change it out, which is going to require a mechanic, someone to do that labor on. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than simply replacing a wheel. Now, the same is true for a front hub motor. Now, a lot of e-bikes, two-wheel e-bikes don't have front hub motors. We use front hub motors on our electric tricycles. Those are also simple to replace. And when you see here, there's actually just one connection between the motor and the rest of the electronics, which is located here. And it's very simple. There's actually arrows on the cable indicating where you plug it in. So all you would do is actually unplug that, remove the wheel, swap the wheel, plug it back in, and you'd be off and riding. And in most situations, when you replace this rear wheel, you won't need to retune the brakes necessarily. You won't need to retune the gears. All of that should stay as it was. You would literally just plug the wheel in. Now, you do have to loosen the axle nuts here to get the wheel off. But again, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. If you've done the assembly yourself already, you would have done that on the front wheel. Now, you can always leave it up to a mechanic or a bike shop if you feel more comfortable with that. But I think it's worth knowing how simple it would be to replace it. The other thing I will say, on a mid-drive mount motor, you just have to make sure in a couple years that you're going to have a mid-drive motor that will fit back into that same spot. In this situation, it's just a wheel with a motor in it. There's lots of possibilities to replace it. We obviously stock our replacement motors, but it's a very simple process, and I think it reduces the cost of ownership over the long term should you ever need to replace a motor. And that day will happen at some point. It's really going to be, depending on how many miles you log, what kind of riding you're doing. Could be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or beyond. The more wear and tear you put on it, the more hills you're doing on it, the heavier the rider is. These motors are not going to last forever. That's certainly true. And, the cost of it's going to depend on the manufacturer of the bike. In our situation, it's going to be about $250 to $500 for a brand new motor in the rear, which is going to be a lot less expensive than replacing the bike completely. So that's a huge benefit of a rear hub electric bike motor. If you have any other questions at all, please comment below or email us, the team at 630.com, or call us 310-982-2877. And don't forget, if you're in the market for an e-bike, visit our website, 630.com. Take our proprietary body fit quiz. You'll answer just a few questions about your body and your life. In under 2 minutes, we'll recommend the perfect bike or e-bike for you. In addition to that, we have a test ride your e-bike policy for 30 days. If you don't love it within 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. And lastly, be a part of our community, our Facebook peddlers group, and you can download our app. Great places to go before you purchase, because you can talk to our existing e-bike and bike riders, ask them questions, see how they like their bikes. And then once you have your own 630 bike, track your rides on the app, compete on the leaderboard, and of course, make new friends in the pedalers group. All right, so thank you for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.